Hi, this is Attorney Mike Graham. I'm coming to you from Chicago, as usual. And today I've got a really good clip. It's a sovereign citizen fail. It was sent to me by a commenter. The channel's called British Bulldog. It's got one subscriber. And I have a British Bulldog in the comments. However, I believe this hearing takes place in the United States. They sound like Americans to me. It just goes way off course. There's a whole red herring about COVID and all this stuff that's not related. And it's absolutely fascinating. I can't read it. I can't figure out where it is. I can't figure out what the underlying charges are. If any of my sleuths can give me more information, maybe I'll do a follow-up on it. Let's do it.
My computer is acting up. Okay, and this Ontario Court of Justice is again in session.
Good afternoon, Your Worship. Feeney and SLS, Municipal Prosecutor for the City of Barrie. I'm here on your solitary 2:30 matter. I know the time is getting on today. I'm here on the matter of pushing ink. I see two gentlemen in the courtroom, and I believe one of them is Mr. Russo.
Yes, good afternoon. So, Mr. Russo, we're here today. This is a sort of informal meeting just to, I understand it's your desire to go to trial, and it's to sort of flush out any matters that can be decided ahead of time to make the trial more expeditious and fair, and get anything that needs to be decided ahead of time.
Your Worship, just before you continue, I'm just wondering that I see another gentleman here, Your Worship, is listed on the Christopher James. I'm just wondering about the individual's function here today and whether or not the individual is a potential witness or a legal representative. I'm just wondering about their status.
Okay, so this is really interesting. The volume is horrible on it as I record this. I'm going to try to fix it, but if not, I'm going to give a little recap. The guy in the top left here is the prosecutor. We'll find out that the guy on the top right is the defendant, and the guy in the middle is I don't know, and that's exactly what the prosecutor was asking. What is his role? He comes in and spews some crazy, but I don't know if he thinks he's representing the guy or if he thinks he's going to be a witness and offer evidence. It's a mess. But the prosecutor asked a very good question. Who is this guy and why is he at this hearing? If he plans on being a witness, he shouldn't be here now. And that's really awkward. But you'll see as they go forward. Also, the judge, magistrate, justice of the peace, whatever she is, that's her bottom center.
I'd like to speak. First off, I want to get the Mr. Strucken, I man, Jamie of the Russo family. You can address me as either the man before the court or Jamie. Did you?
Oh, Lord. You can address me as the man before the court. Here we go. Okay, what do the boys have to do to get you to hit like and subscribe? It's pretty much all I have.
You received my paperwork. Actually, first off, can I get the name of the woman acting as the justice of the peace for my records, please?
Jennifer Robinson.
Okay, and did you receive the paperwork that I submitted into the court on the 28th or the 27th, I believe?
Yes, I have.
Okay, perfect. So in those, before we go any further, none of those four questions have been answered to myself. So I do not consent to the jurisdiction of the court. You have not produced any evidence, and it hasn't come forward. There's no verified claim before the court, and I do not have a contract with anyone before the court that has been raising any allegations against me whatsoever. Okay,
so we're spewing the usual soft sit nonsense. He apparently forwarded some documents to her. She said, yeah, I got them. You know, it's an affidavit of truth or he's disputing jurisdiction. He says all these things. Oh, you'll see how it plays out.
So Christopher James is also here as my consultant, and I can have anybody in the courtroom to assist me that I deem fit.
Worship, my only concern is trial integrity, and if the individual, Mr. James is going to witness.
This matter needs to be discharged immediately. You do not have any evidence whatsoever. In the paperwork that I sent before the court, I have presented evidence. Christopher James is here because this man.
All right. So you see the prosecutor was saying we want to preserve the integrity. So if you're a witness and you plan on testifying, you can't be at this prior hearing at working things up. But he doesn't know that. That's why he asked the question. The judge, magistrate, justice of the peace, whatever she is, she seems very bright to me, but she is too nice. She is simply too nice. At the end of this, her expression is priceless. I think she's in the right place. But before I cast too much judgment, I don't know what the charges are, and she may or may not even have contempt power. I think the guy's in contempt right there already, talking over the prosecutor who properly waited his turn.
Along with another OPP officer, Gabriel Prue, submitted the evidence that the coronavirus does not even exist. So unless you have evidence that it has been purified and or isolated, then you have no evidence of anything that you're doing. There's no man or woman before the court that has a verified claim against me, and I have no contract. In
case you're wondering, because I was the first time I watched this has nothing to do with the coronavirus. Nothing whatsoever. This is a complete red herring. This is just talking about things that are not at issue. He got charged with something, not corona related as far as I can tell.
Unless you're claiming that I'm your property, you can't administer property without right. You need to honorably discharge this before the court immediately. This is my last and final appearance.
I do love the judge's expression.
Jurisdiction, nor do I consent to any trial of any sort in your jurisdiction.
All right. So back to the question about whether the gentleman who's marked as an observer, Christopher James, if you could just
answer that, really.
Okay, and I'll just ask you, man before the court, to be quiet while I'm speaking.
See, right there, she gets it all. I mean, she's not confused, but I do not understand why these judges adopt what their preference is in terms of being named something before the court. And he wants to be man before the court. It's silly. If he was cooperating with the proceedings and he said, "Hey, call me Bob," all right, fine. That's really not disruptive. But this guy is antagonistic from the get. So you get Mr. whatever your legal name is. That's it. That's how it's handled. I think this judge needs to go to the Lynise Bryant School of Soft-Set Handling.
If you can *6 to unmute, Mr. James, could you just state your name for the record, please?
My name is Christopher James. I am the man that has filed the evidence surrounding the COVID-19 SARS-2. It is a fraud against all the people. This is very serious. Gabriel Prue and myself have put our lives on the line under penalty of death if what we've claimed is not true. And the evidence package has been provided to all of you. That's why this is much more serious than this theater that's going on surrounding Pushing Inc. We have a very serious problem in our country right now. We've all been lied to here, and that's why I'm appearing simply.
Okay, great. We have a lot of very serious problems in our country right now. We always do. But we are here because the guy in the top right, the man before the court, was charged with the crime. What is all this nonsense?
Okay, so because the concern is that you would be required to provide evidence in a trial. And if that's the case, then we can't have you sitting in on the pretrial because it's going to affect your ability to be a witness.
The evidence is regardless, the evidence that's before everybody here today is verified. It has nothing to do with me being a witness. This is verified evidence that the virus has never been isolated.
You guys never answer a question, so we don't know if you want to be a witness or not. What she's saying is if you do intend to be a witness at trial, you are screwing it up right now. All the other nonsense that you're spewing is irrelevant and wrong.
We are all in a lot of trouble here right now, all of us. So as you, as an honorable woman that's acting as part of the justice system, and a man comes before you, and I've laid a claim, not a complaint, and it's verified and it's backed up, and I'm prepared for my life, and Gabriel, a OPP officer. This is how serious this is. You've got to produce.
Oh, the drama. It's all life-threatening. All of your arguments are life-threatening. Come on.
The evidence right now, as Jamie has said, that you have evidence that's been isolated. And we've got multiple FOIs that it's never been isolated nowhere in this country or the world. And that's why how serious this is. We need your assistance on this to move this up the chain of command as quickly as possible, because people's lives are at stake here.
We're not here to move your crackpot theories up the chain of command. We're here because the guy in the top right was charged with something.
This is what this is about.
All right. Well, that's where you're wrong. This isn't about whether COVID is on trial or not. This is a charge, an allegation, which has not been proven in a court of justice yet, that is before the court. There's no requirement that anyone consents to the jurisdiction. Jurisdiction has been established by the court. It is properly before the court. In terms of no evidence, I'm going to ask.
That was strong. I will give her that. Like I like this judge overall. I like her. She's just too nice. And one of the things that makes me and a lot of my viewers crazy is this tendency to be nice. And that's lovely and all, but if somebody is antagonistic, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I mean, she understands this intellectually. She's not confused about anything. But I think she's just giving a little too much leeway to someone who's showing no respect to the court.
Have you received the disclosure from the prosecutor, the man before the court?
I received the disclosure conditionally that there was evidence that there was a verified claim set against me, or that I had a contract working with anybody that has been before me in these allegations of the potential. It's a potential charge, which is ridiculous. And there has been no verified claim, nor...
It's not a potential charge. There's a charge. That's why you're here. You showed up because you were charged with something and the court date was set.
Or a contract that I have signed, and I do not consent.
No contract necessary, nor is your consent necessary. You have been charged. You are here because you know they have jurisdiction.
To the jurisdiction of this court, and it has not been established. We're standing in a common law matter, and there is no jurisdiction. There's no man or woman that has claimed a verified claim that I've created trespass against them, wrong or harm, and
not required. This is the funky corpus delicti nonsense.
therefore, there's no crime that has been committed.
Worship, on the notion of disclosure, I have to say that disclosure is complete. However, in reviewing and in preparing for today's pretrial, I reviewed the public realm video that was posted by the man Jamie Russo, and I noticed that a municipal law enforcement officer was standing there. So I contacted that officer, who is Bryant, and asked if he had made notes, and he did, so he forwarded them to me. There's 3 pages of notes, Your Worship, that I've received. So that is the only outstanding disclosure to my knowledge, and I'll ensure that Mr. Russo gets that forthwith.
All right.
This evidence of a verified claim that I created harm to another man or woman?
He's a witness to the event, sir, and he made...
A witness to the event, but is there a verified claim that I've caused harm to anybody? Because if I have not, then I have not committed a crime. The potential to do something is the most ridiculous crime that you could ever try and get anybody on. So unless you have answered any of those 4 questions that I've repeated considerably and put in the paperwork onto the public record.
They don't know any answers to your goofy questions. Neither the judge nor the prosecutor.
Then you have no way of moving this court forward. If these charges are not discharged immediately before the court, I will be moving claim and court forward on everybody liable retroactive.
Whoa, he's going to do all this retroactive. That's great. So unless you dismiss the claim against me immediately, I'm going to commit a bunch of fraud and get myself in more trouble. Okay. Well, there you have it. That was fascinating to me. It was sent to me by a viewer. And it may be the person who, it may be the defendant in the case, the man before the court. The man before the court may be a viewer of mine. I don't know if if he watches my channel and thinks that I'm going to think that was a good job, or I don't know. It might be somebody who's just tipping me off because it was interesting. I don't know. You guys do this to me in the comments too. These sovereign citizens are so freaking predictable that half the time you guys will come in and pose as a sovereign citizen because everything is the same. They have the same bad ideas every time, and you'll get my blood up in the comments and then hit me with the laugh emojis. Stop it. It's not nice. I've got things to do. Here at Law Talk, we like to have fun with silly stuff that happens in court, and every once in a while, and completely by accident, I assure you, you might learn something. Thanks for watching.